Good morning, everybody. This is Eureka John with Eureka Street Crypto Hub, broadcasting live on Theta TV from Leander, Texas. It is July 7th, 2021, and it is 6:15 in the morning. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. It is early, and that's the way I do. And this is my video blog. If you've stumbled on it for your first time, welcome. This is not professional. This is not some kind of educational tool or platform. And this is not financial advice. I'm just some random schmo getting up here enjoys having a camera on him. Maybe I just need the attention. I don't know. Maybe it's to pump up an ego and all that crap. Maybe, I don't know, but whatever. It is what it is, and take it for a grain of salt. But either way, yeah, so this covers everything crypto. I'm not sponsored by anybody, not shilling anything, and yeah, so, all right. And it's early. And I didn't really have any plans for this show today, and usually they're all pretty loose plans anyway, so let's see where this show takes us, alright? Shall we? Alright, let's see here. So let's go to the CoinGecko and see what the deal is. Hold on, let me pop out this chat just in case anybody jumps online today. I like to have the chat on and see what's up. Alright, yeah, sometimes this dude Richess seems to pop on and chat whenever I'm not live, and he always just misses it, or she, or whatever. I don't want to assume. And yeah, but sometimes, you know, he's jumped on during the show. So let's see here. I'll actually put the chat bot on the show today and see and make it visible. So yeah, I don't think I've normally done that. I don't really know where to put it. I think I'll just put it right here and see what's up. Okay, yeah, it seems like a good enough place for it. All right, so, okay, let's go to the CoinGecko and see what the deal is. And Bitcoin, $34,859.88, up 2.8%. Ethereum, 2,392%. That would be great, you know, but no, it's up 5.2%. Tether, dollar-wide. Binance Coin, 332.30, up 7.4%. Cardano, up to $1.43. It's kind of been hovering around there, you know. I've been up in the air about what to do about Cardano. Do I want to hang in there with Cardano, or do I want to kind of just prune my portfolio a little bit and drop some of these and really focus and hone on some specific ones? Okay, so people ask, you know, well, what should I invest in? And everybody's like, well, diversify, diversify, diversify. Sure, to a point. Especially if you're getting in and you want exposure to a lot of different stuff. You can either go now with index, you know, the DPI index, that is the DeFi index, and it's kind of the blue chip bag of all the DeFi stuff, and there's a token for that tracks it. There's another one. Can't remember what it's called, but it tracks the entire crypto market. Or you could just buy a bunch of tokens and that you kind of research and get a brief idea of, to where it looks like you have a Boy Scout sash or a Girl Scout sash with just tons of different tokens on it. And that way, you know, if one kind of does bad, it won't really affect the rest of them, or one does good, it kind of pulls the rest up with it. You know, it's a great way if you just kind of, yeah, diversity is good. But the more educated you get, the more you might want to prune some of just that mass amount of stuff you buy, and you see it all the time. I'm guilty of it. You know, I just buy everything you hear about pretty much, and you get super stoked on. It's like the new crypto person's just like the crypto rookie high. It's like, wow, everything is just mind-blowing, you know. And then things start to settle down for a while. You see a couple rug pulls, you know, you see a couple Oracle exploits, And you're just like, yeah, okay, now I know. You start to learn about the dark forest and the miner extracted value. And you just, okay, all right. Let me reel it in a little bit. And you start to kind of prune some of your, crypto projects that you have. So I've begun doing that, and I've been doing that for a while. But and some of them, I like and I do support, but I just don't want. I just can't. There's just so much stuff out there. I just can't. I kind of did that with Waves and BTCST. Both of those projects I do like, but I've kind of had to just reel it back. I just don't have enough money for it all, and I really want to concentrate my money where I think it will have the best impact and stuff that I support. And sometimes my support is pretty biased. Sometimes I just like the design better than another one that has a similar function, and it's so dumb and arbitrary and random, but it's true, and it's just like skateboard graphics. When I was a kid, I didn't buy boards for the shape. I mean, I kind of did. I mean, I liked the Neil Blender shape, with the coffee guy, but I bought it for the graphics. I thought the coffee guy was such a cool graphic back then, and same thing with the Jeff Kendall. And then the Kevin Staub board with Sims had a terrible shape, but the graphics were so cool with that scientist. So it's like that, and sometimes aping into crypto projects is like that. There might be two crypto projects that, focus on very similar concepts, but you jump into one because you like the graphics better. Admit it. You do it. I know you do. Okay. All right. So, where was I? I just went off on a tangent, didn't I? Okay, so XRP is at 67 cents. Dogecoin, 23 cents. USDC, so we still have, we have two stable coins in the top 10. Binance US dollar got knocked down by Uniswap, 23.14 for Uniswap. Polkadot, 1684, number 9 position. So yes, and we got a tight race between Polkadot and Uniswap, just fighting back and forth between the 8 and 9 position or 9 and 10 position. Okay, so that doesn't really, no, that's not true. Okay, Solana, 3670, 9.4 in the past 24 hours percent-wise. Chainlink. Okay, so I follow Chainlink. I'm a Chainlink Marine, and Chainlink's up 8.9%. Is it time for another one of these Chainlink spikes? Because Chainlink does that. It kind of goes, and then it falls back about halfway, and then it does that, trickles around. Actually, it's been falling back. It's been behaving weird. And obviously, I'm not a technical analyst, so I don't know. But either way, I don't really look at the trend lines. I look at the fundamentals of the project and what it does. So, it's going to be doing a lot, and it does a lot already. So, actually, CoinGecko gets their prices from Chainlink feeds, and so, same thing with Theta Network down here too, which I, obviously broadcasting on Theta right now. Whoa, what happened with DAI token over here? It's got this little spike. Oh, I guess you can't see that on your screen. So it's up to $1.04. Okay, and then Aave has been doing well. The DeFi blue chips have been doing well. So yeah. Okay. Anyway, so this show, I really couldn't decide what I wanted to talk about today because I was listening to the Bankless podcast on Mimesis, and if you haven't listened to that one, Bankless Mimesis. Okay, so if you haven't listened to this podcast, I would recommend The Power of Mimesis right here by Luke Burgess. And these Bankless podcasts I know are like, 2 hours long and all that stuff. And people have complained too about my podcasts being, like 30 minutes long, that they're too long. And whatever, man, I get it. I understand. But this is kind of my stream of consciousness in the morning. Like I said, I'm not shilling anything, so I'm not really trying to monetize this. I'm going to monetize through other means, hopefully by creating animations and participating in people's projects and stuff like that, and try to monetize that way, maybe creating educational videos. I don't know. But it won't be through this. I want to keep this pure and this stream of consciousness, and this not be tied to anything trying to, garner donations and being like, if you love this message, you will donate to my Ethereum address. Thank you for your support. No, I'm not really looking to do that. Hey, what's up, ProDad75? Thanks for jumping on. It's been a minute. I appreciate you jumping on, and I don't know what the hell I'm going to talk about today. So I just figured I would talk about. So anyway, the reason this got to me listening and learning about CryptoPunks, and I've been seeing these guys on some people's, some highly influential crypto people. I've been seeing these guys on their profile pics, and I was like, okay, I guess it's like a thing, like laser eyes, I didn't really jump on the laser eyes thing. I get it, stand behind the cause, show your support. But then again, I'm never one of those people that ever actually adopted any Facebook filters for anything either. And I don't need to show my support for anything. My support will happen when it happens, and that's it, So anyway, I don't really know what CryptoPunks is supposed to show support for unless it's just kind of cool. And it's just one of those powers of mimesis things that this podcast here, the power of mimetic desire. And he actually, in this podcast, goes over one of my favorite authors, Rene Girard. And Rene Girard, right, he's a 60s and 70s, or he's a 70s and 80s philosopher or literary critic, is a French one, and he talks a lot about societal structures, scapegoat mechanisms, mimesis, and stuff like that. And mimesis is this desire to imitate, and it's kind of on its own hierarchy of needs, and that's what they were covering through this. But it's a really fascinating podcast, and they started talking about CryptoPunks, and then this whole idea, this trend thing, and I think the laser eyes are in there too. But hold on one second. Well, shoot. Okay, now I was gonna pull. I gave my Rene Girard books to my daughter, so I was gonna show you the books that you should read that are really good. But Rene Girard, that's here. Rene Girard. If people ask what is one book that has really shaped you, this book definitely shaped my outlook on life and my I guess philosophy and theology and all that crap. So yeah, Rene Girard right here. This book, The Scapegoat. So if you ever are a book reader type of person, this one's a really good book. It's kind of dense, I'm gonna warn you, but yeah. ProDad says punks seem more cult-like. Yeah, it does kind of seem cultish, and especially now that these CryptoPunks are selling at Christie's auctions, and anything that sells at Christie's auctions I can't afford. So let's take a look here real quick. I had some of these pulled up. All right, so let's look at some of these. These are the largest sales. $7.57 million for this. 7.58 million, and then recent transactions: 61,190, 52,377, $48,828, 20 ETH. This one was transferred, so somebody's really nice and gifted that one. So yeah, I don't want to spend the amount I would pay on a car for a CryptoPunk, but some people have that money. I don't, and wow. I am bad, but it just goes to show the power of mimesis. Yeah, ProDad says he's a garage sale kind of guy. I am too. My wife is, especially. She was, people put their trash out on the street, and she was eyeballing some planter, down the street. And I'm like, come on, we don't need to be dragging a bunch of trash in our house. Like, our entire collection of kids' toys were sun bleached and worn out from stuff she had picked up off the side of the street. But anyway, so yeah, CryptoPunks is let me give you a little history. This is not something that really an artist made. All this was generated by a computer. So 3 years ago, two software developers created a quirky art project called Cryptopunks that posed a serious and provocative question. Could a few lines of code translate to a feeling of meaningful ownership? It was a crazy idea that would require, in their words, a conceptual leap. 3 years later, that project is highly regarded as the beginning of today's crypto art movement. Now, for the first time, a special sample of that groundbreaking work will be offered at a traditional auction house. When I think auction house, I think of like, you know, the cowboy up there. Going was told. I don't really think of Christie's. You know, I'd probably have to dress up to go there. A single lot of 9 punks, courtesy of Larva Labs. The project's creators and pioneers will appear in Christie's 21st Century Evening Sale on 11 May in New York. The CryptoPunks are the alpha and the omega of crypto art movement, explains Noah Davis, especially in post-war and contemporary art at Christie's, New York. This is a historic sale. And it is, you know, CryptoPunks began as an experiment in 2017. I didn't know that it was that recent. Okay. So Matt Hall and John Watkinson, founders of a New York-based software company, Larva Labs, created a software program that would generate thousands of different strange-looking characters. At first, they were thought that they might have the makings of a smartphone app or game. What they ended up was a paradigm-altering model for a digital art market and a challenge to the concept of ownership itself. CryptoPunks collection are a collection of 24 by 24 8-bit style pixel art images of misfits and eccentrics. There are exactly 10,000 of them, each with their own ostensible personality and unique combination of a distinctive, randomly generated features. So, they basically could barely give them away at first, and some are more rare than others. There's 3,840 female punks, and 696 of them wear hot lipstick. 303 have mutton chops. There's 286 punks with 3D glasses. 128 rosy cheek punks. 94 punks with pigtails. 78 punks with buck teeth, and 44 beanie-wearing punks. So, and then down here, there's, you know, some even zombie punks, and, you know, the more rare ones, and, you know, it's just these collectors, you know, and they always end up being the rich ones, you know, and they're like, look at me, man. You know, it happens in the skateboarding world too, you know. There's, you know, some guy that, you know, has some rare, you know, first issue, I don't know, like a Zorlak skateboard, and, you know, they post it everywhere, but they ain't gonna be skating it, that's for sure. Yeah, so it's extremely active and all that stuff. I'll link this article and let you read it for yourself. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but you get the gist. And, you know, ProDad said the Theta-Zilla in apparel seems to be getting good dollar. Okay, so, you know, some other things are catching on too. Maybe people are attracted to them because it lets them represent something they want to be. Emotions can be valuable. Absolutely true. And so what I originally thought that this was pinned off of and what it represented was the cypherpunk movement. And I've been reading a lot of stuff about the original cypherpunk movement, watching documentaries and stuff like that. And ProDad is absolutely correct on this one. You know, and that's the reason I have a bunch of skateboards hanging on my wall. You know, it brings back nostalgia. I don't want to pay $58,000 for my nostalgia, but I mean, if you have the means, why not? I mean, look at this. I got a Bitcoin first issue right here, Bitcoin magazine, you know, and apparently that's worth some money. And yeah, so maybe somebody a little more nostalgic about Bitcoin stuff than me would want to buy it for what I would be willing to let it go for. So, man, I don't know. And then maybe, you know, somebody might see this up here and be like, I want to buy a copy of that now. And then that is mimesis in action right there. And humans have mimetic desires hardwired and hard programmed into their brains, into their psyches, and would I dare say even into their DNA? Possibly. I don't know that much about DNA research. I still have thousands of baseball cards and other sports I collected as a kid. Yes, me too. Right here in cellophane, 1988 Topps baseball cards, pro set. Even though this doesn't really, this year was kind of like off. It didn't really have any good rookie cards, but yeah, I get it. Yeah, old Steve Caballero tech deck right here. You know, so yes, I fully understand it. I'm not being a critic whatsoever. I'm just, yeah. Anyway, Cypherpunks Manifesto is what kind of got me started on all this. Now let me bring this over here. I've been getting into a lot of this stuff, and this is what I thought. This is what I thought that the CryptoPunks were based off of, and it's what led me to the CryptoPunks. I stand corrected because the CryptoPunks came out in 1988, but this is what I thought. So it says, I still have Pokemon cards if it counts. Hey man, it counts. My neighbor 2 doors down, like he's like some kind of major Pokemon card dealer or something, and he makes his entire living off of doing that. So I don't understand Pokemon, but I'm a little older, so you know. But hey, to each their own, right? Anyway, Cypherpunks manifesto. This is what I thought CryptoPunks were representing. I thought that they were representations of all the original Cypherpunks. But Eric Hughes and Timothy C. May and a bunch of those guys, they were the original CryptoPunks or Cypherpunks. And so there's the Cypherpunk manifesto. There's the crypto-anarchist manifesto right here. There's the Cryptonomicon right here, and all this you can find at the nakamotoinstitute.org. There's a bunch of really good literature you can find there, and let me just copy this and go to there. And I'm all over the place today, so excuse my lack of direction for this show today. Yeah, so if you go into literature on here, I mean, it is just a treasure trove, and I went over Bitcoin's white paper a couple days ago in detail, but look at all this stuff, man. You could go down a major rabbit hole with the origins of cryptography and cryptocurrency and everything like that, and libertarianism. You have Julian Assange down here, Hal Finney, Nick Szabo. I mean, it doesn't stop. So, you know, Wei Dai, yeah, so... Yeah, if you want to learn, you know, if you want to learn about the origins of cryptocurrency and stuff like that, this is a great place to start. And as I continue to do shows, I'm on 197 right now. I'm going to be going down through here and picking these apart. I'm going to read a little bit of the Cypherpunk manifesto if I can find it on my tabs here. I have like a million tabs, so... Yeah, no, that's the crypto-anarchist here. I'll do Cypherpunks manifesto a little bit. By Eric Hughes. Privacy is necessary for an open society in the electronic age. Privacy is not secrecy. A private matter is something one doesn't want the whole world to know, but a secret matter is something one doesn't want anybody to know. Privacy is the power to selectively reveal oneself to the world. If two parties have some sort of dealings, then each has a memory of their interaction. Each party can speak about their own memory of this. How can one prevent it? How could one pass laws against it? But the freedom of speech, even more than privacy, is fundamental to an open society. Freedom of speech. Get that, guys. We do not seek to restrict any speech at all. If many parties speak together in the same forum, one can speak to all others and aggregate together knowledge about individuals and other parties. The power of electronic communications has enabled such group speech, and it will not go away merely because we might want it to. Much like mimetic desire, you know, in group speech as well. Since we desire privacy, we must ensure that each party has a transaction to have knowledge only of that which is directly necessary for that transaction. Since any information can be spoke of, we must ensure that we reveal as little as possible. In most cases, personal identity is not salient. When I purchase a magazine at a store and hand the cash to the clerk, there is no need to know who I am. When I ask my electronic mail provider to send and receive messages, my provider does not need to know to whom I'm speaking or what I'm saying or what others are saying to me. My provider only needs to know how to get the message there and how much I owe them in fees. When my identity is revealed by the underlying mechanisms of the transaction, I have no privacy. I cannot here selectively reveal myself. I must always reveal myself. And then that gets me to you know, people asking for 2 forms of ID, you know, and I'm like, I got my gym card, you know, and yeah, it's just insane. I'm like, what does this have to do with me? You know, we're just trying to verify this is your credit card, sir. You know, there's a thin line between security and privacy, you know, and it's this constant teetering balancing act. And as of late, it has gone way far more towards security and protection. You know, it all starts in the name of protection, folks. It all starts in the name of protection. Therefore, privacy in an open society requires anonymous transaction systems. Until now, cash has been the such primary system. Cash, you know, but now that they're no longer accepting cash, you know, that's the beauty of privacy and cryptocurrency. Bitcoin supposedly, but they have chainalysis, but chainalysis. Bitcoin is now, with a Taproot upgrade, going to be starting implementing some more privacy features and, you know, some Monero ring signature style stuff. Multi-sigs will be more anonymous than before, so they're making some improvements there. And you know, there's other private DeFi like the Secret Network. There's Monero. There's the Pirate Chain, Zcash. So things are developing, and people say, well, aren't the criminals gonna, you know, be able to use this technology? Well, anytime a new technology is developed, criminals use it. It just happens. It's life, and it's the responsibility of people and society to create technology to be able to catch those criminals. And it's a constant historical cat and mouse game that never ends. Okay, so ProDad says those in powers must have control or they lose it. Yeah, absolutely. And that's the number one fear of the forces in control. So where was I here? Privacy in an open society also requires cryptography. If I say something, I only want it to be heard for those for whom I intend it. The content of my speech is available. If the content of my speech is available to the world, I have no privacy. To encrypt is to indicate the desire for privacy, and to encrypt with weak cryptography is to indicate not too much desire for privacy. Further, to reveal one's identity with assurance when the default is anonymity requires the cryptographic signature. We cannot expect governments, corporations, or other large I gotta highlight this. We cannot expect governments, corporations, or other large faceless organizations to grant us privacy out of their beneficence. They're not going to give us privacy. It is to our advantage to speak of us, and we should expect that they will speak. To try to prevent their speech is to fight against the realities of information. Information does not just want to be free, it longs to be free. I like that. It longs to be free. Information expands to fill the available storage space. Information is rumor's younger cousin. Information, I like this, get a little poetic with it. Information is rumor's younger cousin. Information is fleeter of foot, has more eyes, knows more, and understands less than rumor. Wow, okay. We must defend our own privacy if we expect to have any. We must come together and create systems which allow anonymous transactions to take place. People have been defending their own privacy for centuries with whispers, darkness, envelopes, closed doors, secret handshakes, and couriers. People say that only bad stuff happens in secret and in the dark, and that is absolutely not true. Some very good stuff has happened in secret and in the dark whenever there have been oppressive structures on top of somebody. The technologies of the past did not allow for strong privacy, but electronic technologies do. We, the Cypherpunks, are dedicated to building anonymous systems. We are defending our privacy with cryptography, with anonymous mail forwarding systems, with digital signatures, and with electronic money. Back then, I believe it was like Hashcash and Bcash and stuff like that. Cypherpunks write code. This is the most famous quote in cypherpunk history right here. They don't just talk about it. And there was another movement. This is in contrast to another movement at the time, the Hayekians, you know, were less dogmatic about it, and they wanted to make little changes, and they kind of wanted to change things within the system. Not the Cypherpunks. They write code. It's basically the skateboarders' version of it is shut up and skate. You know, don't just sit on the ramp and talk about it. Like, do something. We know that someone has to write software to defend privacy, and since we can't get privacy unless we all do, we're going to write it. So if you can't get privacy unless you're going to take it. You know, so they're going to write it. We publish our code so that our fellow Cypherpunks may practice and play with it. Our code is free for all to use worldwide. We don't much care if you don't approve of the software we write. We know that software can't be destroyed and that a widely dispersed system can't be shut down. Cypherpunks deplore regulations on cryptography, for encryption is fundamentally a private act. The act of encryption, in fact, removes information from the public realm. Even laws against cryptography reach only so far as a nation's border and the arm of its violence. Cryptography will ineluctably spread over the whole globe, and with it the anonymous transaction systems that makes it possible. For privacy to be widespread, it must be a part of a social contract, even if it's a smart contract, right? So, people must come together and deploy these systems for the common good. Privacy only extends so far as the cooperation of one's fellows in society. We, the Cypherpunks, seek your questions and your concerns and hope we may engage you so that we do not deceive ourselves. We will not, however, be moved out of our course because some may disagree with our goals. The Cypherpunks are actively engaged in making the network safer for privacy. Let us proceed together at pace. Onward. And Eric Hughes at berkeley.edu. So, the good thing about these CryptoPunks is they got me going down this cypherpunk rabbit hole, and I'm going to be touching on a lot of this other stuff. And in some of my videos that I've made, in the 197 videos that I have published, I have referenced the Nakamoto library and all that stuff, and some of the stuff I've talked about Nick Szabo. I've talked about a lot of this stuff. But the CryptoPunks just reminded me of this. So it does have a purpose, and it's not just some kind of mimetic trend like laser eyes on Bitcoin profiles and stuff like that. I gotta go. Gotta get some work done. I am working from home today, but so hit me up. Give me a thumbs up or whatever, and feel free to DM me at my Twitter account, or shoot me a message on YouTube or Odyssey or BitChute or whatever. And I'm always down for a little collaboration. I'm always down to have people on the show. This weekend I'm actually having possibly 2 people. One person possibly Saturday, and then some other person, another guy has booked for Sunday. So I like to bring in other voices. It's not just hear myself in an echo chamber. Let's bring on a conversation, man. All right, I will talk to you guys. Hold on, let me get this outro music going. I've been forgetting that lately. And ProDad, thanks for jumping on again. It's nice to see you. And Soyuna, Robert Breedlove is amazing. I did it. I covered one of his things about Bitcoin maximalism last week, and I do have his article right here, Masters and Slaves of Money. I'm in the middle of this article. I'm going to be reading this and going over it probably tomorrow. So so thanks for the What is Money podcast is absolutely amazing. All right, so that being said, I'm gonna go get on to work. All right, bye.